The J. Michaels Show.
Welcome to another edition of the J. Michaels Show, and we've got a great guest for you tonight. He's worked at Area 51. He's a photographer. He's in the military, and he's going to talk to us about things that he's witnessed while on the job. Robert Standing Eagle Marshall is our guest, and let's say hi. Hey, Robert.
Hey, Jay. What a long, strange trip just getting on here.
Yeah, we had some technical issues at the beginning. We couldn't hear you, then suddenly we could. And I'm glad you're here.
And as I was saying before the show, it isn't anything new.
It's happened.
Yeah.
I think somebody doesn't want us talking. Could be.
Well, sorry, but I just got to get it out there. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's start with credentials first.
Sure. Let's introduce you to everybody. Tell us who you are and what you got.
Okay, I'm Robert Carter Marshall. I am a black Cherokee Lumbee tribe. I served in the Air Force from Vietnam era to Desert Storm.
Mm-hmm.
My global mobility code and number is 846-000-2433-234, A-Team number 2.
Okay.
I was assigned to Special Ops.
Mm-hmm.
I was assigned to SEAL Teams 3 and 5, Delta Force, FBI, NSA.
Wow. You've run the whole...
I was a combat photojournalist.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the first cadre of 56 combat photojournalists in the Air Force, and they farmed us out to everybody because they wanted to get our nose bloodied and
Mm-hmm.
show all the other services what we could do.
Right.
The Navy had first started the program during Vietnam, and we had one Air Force guy that qualified, Scott Crisp, that was a Vietnam vet, and after him came the rest of us. There was competition. Our whole career field is 2,500 people.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 500 to 1,000 would apply for the program, and out of them, 6 would be picked.
Mm-hmm.
And we were sent to Syracuse at the Newhouse School of Video and Still Communications.
Right.
And I graduated class 1977.
Wow.
And from there to Desert Storm, I was in the thick of everything. We got we call it our baptism in fire,
Mm-hmm.
was covering Jonestown.
Uh-huh.
And that was where my team was briefed and trained by Fauci back when he had black hair.
Wow. But now your experiences began on the reservation when you were a child, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Just before my 4th birthday.
Mm-hmm.
It was September 16th, 1953.
Mm-hmm.
We had gotten there. That was a Friday. We got there on a Sunday, and that was when I was introduced to the pony that was going to be my horse.
Mm-hmm.
And I named her Dottie because she was a Palomino mixed with a ghost gray,
Mm-hmm.
Doppel gray. So I nicknamed her Dottie because of all the spots on her rear end.
Right.
And she got herself injured on a Wednesday. She was mimicking the sheep. You know how sheep bound?
Right.
And they were in the other corral.
Uh-huh.
And she was mimicking them until she came down on the pipe fence and scraped all of the skin off her front shins.
Oh, good. Goodness.
Everybody was going, oh, damn it, we're going to have to put her down. We're going to have to. I went, what do you mean put her down? Well,
Yeah.
it's too bad. And I went, no. I got hold of my cousin Daryl and his brother and said, fix her. Okay. So they pulled the skin back up, wrapped it, put salve and everything on it.
Right.
And they said, if she gets better by the end of the week, then we won't have to put her down. But it's going to take a while.
Well, that must have been
So
tragic for a
Friday,
4-year-old. Yeah.
so Friday, we were having a feast and everything because this was the preliminary to my birthday that was going to be on the 23rd.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a bunch of tribal things they had to get out of the way because I started showing signs of somebody that shouldn't, at 4 years old, should not know what elders should be doing.
Right.
I knew how to set up an altar when I was 3 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I need to back up to when I was 18 months old. At 18 months old, my dad, we were on the res, and he was tossing me in the air, jiggling me around and doing all of this stuff, and we're laughing and playing. And then my great-great-grandmother, Sarah, told me they saw my face change.
Huh.
And I went from laughing and giggling to looking at my dad. They said like this. Then I put my hands out like this.
Uh-huh.
And when my hands got close to his head, there was a blue charge.
Wow.
And next thing we know, we're laying on the couch.
Yeah.
And Sarah said, we've got to watch this because they've been watching things because I sent you a picture of my eye with the blue ring.
Right.
Everybody in the tribe that has energies or different things have the blue ring.
Wow.
Well, when I was born, my eyes were blue with a small brown ring around the pupil.
Uh-huh.
And as I got older, it receded to that blue ring. And they said, this isn't right. we need to keep an eye on this.
Right.
And so here I am at 4, and I'm learning I knew how to put together a medicine wheel.
Mm-hmm.
I crossed over my great aunt on her deathbed when I was 3, and I knew the procedures to do that, and nobody had shown me.
Huh.
Okay, so there was all of these things going on.
Right.
So they decided his 4th birthday, we're going to do a ceremony. We're going to get things laid out, and we're going to start laying all this stuff out because I was drawing petroglyphs. I didn't know it at the time, but I was scribing runes, Nordic runes, when I was 3.
Wow.
And
amazing.
Other petroglyphs. And they said, okay, something ain't right here because I was drawing star fields and other stuff. So, like I said, we're on the res, we're getting things ready. So Friday the 16th was to be a ceremony. We had a lot of food. There were so many people at the house that when everybody went to sleep, they were laying on the floor everywhere. The rooms were full and everything.
They couldn't wait to see you turn 4.
Yeah. So 2:30 in the morning, I heard this commotion out at the corral.
Okay.
And Dottie was baying and yelling and doing all sorts of stuff. So I tried to wake some people up. Nobody would wake up. Shook everybody. And it's like, damn, they're dead to the world. So, okay, I guess I got to do this myself. So I stepped over everybody, went out the front door. The front door was already open, and I could see her hopping around at the corral. So I went over to the corral, and as I got closer to it, things started getting brighter. And there was this kind of energy field that I was walking through that I could touch it, move it with my hand, it would snap back, and I'm walking through it, and as I walked through it, things got brighter and brighter. I got to the corral, and Dottie trots over to where I was,
Right.
and the first thing I noticed, she didn't have any bandages on her legs.
Oh.
And they were healed. They were just like nothing had ever happened.
Okay, so
And
are you saying that you healed her or something healed her?
something healed her.
Okay.
And that's what I'm getting to.
Okay.
While I'm rubbing her head and patting her and she's licking my face, I noticed there was something off to my right.
Right.
And when I turned to look, I went like this, looking up and looking up and looking up. And there was somebody standing there in this clothing. It was boots, kind of silvery white kind of material, had a belt on, this big pack, and I looked up and there was a helmet. And this being was as tall as the corral posts, that's almost 12 feet.
Wow.
And I'm looking up and looked down like this, and I heard something in my head before I heard it in my ears saying, "Hello, little guy. We've been looking for you."
Oh.
And I went, Who are you? And he does this, opens the visor, and I'm looking at a person that looked like me, had the blue ring around their eyes. Later on in life, I've found out that I was looking at an Olmec.
And okay, what is that?
Those giant carved heads that they found in South America, that was the Olmecs.
Okay.
And I was staring at one when I was 4 years old. And he goes, "Don't worry about a thing. We know your relatives, and we need to talk if you have the time." And then I felt somebody tap me on the shoulder, and I turned around, and there was somebody that was like about 4'11". She was about the height of my grandmother. She was holding that helmet under her arm like this.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at her, and she had the same facial expression, nose and everything, and the eyes. And she goes, "You have a special day coming up pretty soon." And then I went, "Yeah, I'm going to be 4 years old,
Yeah.
And she goes, yeah, we know that." And then I heard in my head, he really doesn't know how old he is.
Oh.
He doesn't know how old he is. And she goes, "That's later.
Yeah. You had to
He's
grow
not
into
ready.
it. Right.
He's not ready."
Yeah.
And she goes, "Look, can we talk? We just need to go over there, and we'll bring you right back home, okay?" I went, "Okay, sure." So I took her hand, and I patted Dottie one more time, and she goes, "That's a really spirited animal you got there." "Dottie, wait a minute. Your mother's name is Dorothy. Don't they call her Dottie?" And I went, "My mother." And she goes, "Well, look, let's hurry up. We'll be back, and you can go and have your party." And as we walked off, I was walking up in the air, and then something opened above us, and it was really bright. And as I stepped inside, I saw a lot of people just moving around that looked the same, except some were like Asian, some were white skin, And that was the last I remembered. The next thing I know, I'm in front of Daryl's brother's house that's 5 miles away.
Wow.
The sun's coming up. The sun is coming up. I'm turning around and I'm going like this, and they were gone. So I just walked on over to Leonard's house, opened the door, went in, went to the cupboard, got out a blanket, laid down on the couch, and I went to sleep. The next thing I know, there's all this commotion. They're shaking me to wake me up, wanting to know, how the hell did you get here? What are you doing here? You're supposed to be at Daryl's house. And, my eyes clear, and I'm going, Leonard, they dropped me off here. Who's they?
Yeah.
And I went, we were up there. Yeah. Okay, enough of this shit. Snatched me up, blanket and all, went out to the pickup truck, got in it, and just tore off over to Daryl's house. And when I go in, I mean, everybody is up in arms. They're yelling, screaming, cursing at each other.
Wow.
And he walks in with me, and they're going, where the hell were you at? What have you been doing? Where have you been? And I tried to explain to him what was going on, and I went, we walked up into the sky. They had the same eyes as I do, Sarah, Leonard, Daryl, and they're still yelling and screaming. And then finally, my great-great-grandmother goes, shut the up. Do you hear what he's saying?
Yeah.
Do you understand what he's been saying?
Exactly.
And then finally, when she spoke, you listened.
Exactly.
And she goes, say that again. And I said, their eyes were the same as mine and yours and Daryl's, and named everybody in the tribe.
Right.
And she goes, those are the sky people. Mm-hmm. We are of the sky people, the ones who walk down from the sky. And I said, well, I walked up into
the sky. They're your ancestors. Yeah.
And my life was never the same after that.
I can imagine.
Before my birthday, something really horrendous started happening, because I was drawing more and more runes and petroglyphs, and all sorts of things was going on. And Tuesday, I was drawing these new symbols, and Sarah asked me, where did you get that? And I went, here.
Yeah.
And she goes, where in there? And I went, a book? You have a book. I have a book. And she goes, I have a book. Daryl has a book. Leonard has a book. All of us have a book. And I said, well, yes, when I forget her name now, when she died, it opened and I saw what to do. And that was getting the tobacco, getting some water, anointing her feet, rubbing the tobacco on it, her hands, crossing her hands, doing this on her head, and crossed her over. And she goes, but that symbol, it was like the I Ching. It was the I Ching for Earth.
Yeah.
And on top of it was this sphere, and then this standing figure. And she goes, I have that too. What else do you have? And then she drew the medicine wheel and then cut the pieces out of the medicine wheel so that it was the swastika. People don't understand the swastika is
originally
on every place on Earth,
right.
every indigenous people.
The Germans
And
stole it. They took that shape, that symbol.
and used the negative
Right.
turning one,
Right.
where, and she made this, as she was drawing it, energy started building up in me.
Mm-hmm.
And it got to the point of where nobody could touch me, because if they did, they would get shocked.
Mm-hmm.
And it kept building and kept building until on Wednesday, they had to wrap me. The only way they could touch me was to wrap me up in a blanket. And they took me into the sweat lodge.
Right.
And I was in there, I forget how long. The sun was up, the sun was down when we got out. And when it did, I guess you could say it was normalized. I wasn't sparking and doing anything like that to people. And
you kind
then,
of equalized everything. Yeah. Balance.
Yeah. And see, everybody in the family has a certain thing that they work with, and mine has always been energy and foresight. And
have you ever tried using it to heal someone or do something
that's
like
what
that?
I do.
Okay.
That's what I do.
Let's talk about that. Let's move into how you became a healer.
Yeah. I found out when I first ran into a Reiki master that from 4 years old, I actually had part of the master's symbol and part of Reiki level 2 that I've been carrying around with me all my life. And I ran into her at the City of the Sun in southern New Mexico. And we talked for a long time. My old service buddy, who was working with Reiki and had seen me working on people from college, talked me into going down there. And when I met her, I found out that she had learned under Takata, which was the last living original Reiki master. And I showed her what I was doing, and she goes, Christianity got its tendrils into Reiki on some level, and they changed what Reiki level 1 was, and they turned it into a Christian cross. But that isn't what it is. And she said, what you were using is Reiki level 1. You've been using it since you were a child, and that was the swastika. But the positive swastika,
right?
The one that turns clockwise,
right?
And when she tuned me, everything came together.
Wow!
You know, I didn't have pieces and fragments anymore. I had the whole thing.
You had the whole book.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that book opened up and showed me it completed, then the next one, on down the line.
Right.
And I know that if people are truly following Reiki the way it should be, more symbols come to you.
Yeah.
Because the same thing happened with me. And if enough people stay on it, eventually there's going to be a commonality of symbols. You know, it's like building a dictionary or an encyclopedia.
Right. So I need to ask you a question. How has this affected you getting involved in the military and ending up at Area 51?
That was something that I've been watching as I went along, that there were too many coincidences that was leading me into this. Because when I got to Germany, I was in a tactical recon unit. It was the 38th Tactical Recon. And originally they were at Ramstein. And we put online this new system that used lasers in aerial recon. We were picking up UFOs. And each time they showed up, at the beginning, it only looked like little orbs that were close to the ground. You're up at like 40,000 feet and you're scanning, and you're starting to pick up these white or silver things that were moving along.
Right.
Then it got to the point of where they got bigger.
Yeah.
And as we were processing them, people would come in, relieve us. They would take the film. We would have to sign an NDA that we never saw this.
Right.
This never happened. And, went on from there.
Yeah.
But then,
what
as the Cold War got...
What kinds of different shapes? There were orbs, there were...
saucers.
Yeah. So you've seen all of these.
Yeah.
Wow.
And when that system with the lasers came on, the definition got even greater.
Oh, yeah.
We were able to cut through camouflage, so the Russians couldn't hide anything.
Right.
Well, coincidentally,
the aliens couldn't either.
It was picking these up too.
Wow.
And we had a couple of close calls. Because sometimes we would fly the Berlin Air Corridor, which was 3 corridors. Germany was broken up into the British, the French, and the American sectors.
Right.
So they moved us from Ramstein down to Zweibrücken because they guesstimated that if the Cold War got hot, where we were at Ramstein, our survivability was only 5 minutes.
Oh, wow.
So they moved us to Zweibrücken down near the French border, which gave us 20 minutes. Which meant if the balloon got up, every ready bird we had was going to launch, and then our base would be gone.
Oh, goodness. So you also were involved with Project Blue Book. Your team was involved during the declassification. Talk to me a little about that.
Yeah. Okay. The system that we were working on with the lasers and everything, they said that our clearance was the level of nukes.
Wow.
And I said, okay, so under NATO, what's the classification there? And they jokingly said cosmic secret was our security level. So we were supposed to transfer, our 4 teams were supposed to transfer from Germany to Beale in California for the SR-71s to put this system on them.
Right.
Our team got diverted to the Pentagon. We didn't understand why.
Yeah.
Were we, with these clearances, being sent to the Pentagon and South Fern Street, which was the Air Force still photo repository.
Right.
It was this huge block building warehouse that had a railroad spur running in the back of it. And NSA, CID, DIA, you name the alphabet agency, they were in this huge building.
Wow.
Occasionally a train would pull up.
Yeah.
Guards would get out. Panels would open up on these cars so that you couldn't see in there, and they would be transferring stuff in and out, close the panels, train would take off heading for the Pentagon.
Right. Wow.
So, and each agency had a vault door. That's how you got in. And so there was guards out the yin-yang.
Yeah.
And we found out later that they were bringing in all of these films.
Yeah.
Now, understand, this is 1975.
Yeah.
there was motion picture film, still film, and negatives that were being brought over that all we were seeing was UFOs.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, it's like, okay, we finally got a briefing, and they said things are ramping up, and you're going to start seeing more and more images, and you're going to have to sign NDAs.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have a special part in the lab. And when these things come in, and when they came in, this was a person with a briefcase with a handcuff and 2 guards.
But you were also a photographer yourself, so did you take pictures of anything yourself?
We'll get to that in a minute.
Can you talk about that?
I was on a crash recovery, but that was way later.
Okay.
Okay. All of us on the team were photographers, but they also had a maintenance guy, a repair person that was there, and we were in our own little space. Whenever they brought this stuff in, even the trash had to be brought out, sealed, signed for, and gone.
Wow.
No scraps could ever remain in the lab. And that's what we did for 18 months. Near the drawdown, when it was time for us to go and they were going to, disband us, that was when I was approached by the civilian, and his name was Ken Hackman. And he comes up to me in the photo lab and he goes, I'm going to be doing a seminar. And you know what? I think that you need to partake of the seminar and let's see what you've got shooting wise. Okay. So I did that. It was a weekend, came back, processed everything. We talked about the things that we shot, why we did it, how we went about it and everything. And then he goes, you know what? I think you need to apply for a program that I'm doing.
Yeah.
And
this guy's a civilian. He's
a
not
civilian.
Military. Okay.
Right. He used to be military. His name was Kenneth Hackman. And he died recently. He died a month and a half ago. And I went, okay. And what is it that I need to do? He goes, you need to provide us a biography. Your biography is going to let us know who and what and why you are. We need storylines, and we need all of these different categories, which was 5 categories, and then they gave you 3 to just do on your own.
Okay.
Well, I was already a newspaper guy before I came in, so this was a piece of cake.
Right.
So I turned in my portfolio and everything. Maybe a later day we'll talk about the racism that happened in this place. But in spite of what they were doing, I got my thing in, and I wound up being number 3 out of 6.
Okay.
Graduated from Syracuse, and I wound up at the headquarters in California.
We're getting a little closer to Area 51 now.
Yeah. Now you notice all of this stuff is like I'm being either guided or pushed or purposely set in place. I get to California, and my first assignment under a person that I knew as a colonel, who was now a brigadier general, was Phillips. And he showed up at our office in the beginning of 1978. And he goes, I need you to do some documentation for me down in LA. And it's a military contractor. And me, him, and Ken are sitting in Ken's office talking this over. And he goes, I need your expertise on some things. Oh, okay. So we get down there, and it's TRW.
TRW,
I'm
what's that?
sitting. TRW is a research. They make recon cameras,
Right,
highly developed instrumentation
right.
for scanning space, satellites, you name it.
Weapons.
Some of the equipment on the spy satellites
Mm-hmm.
come from them.
Right.
They had a sign on their roof of the letters were 5 feet high that said, "If you can read this from 120 some miles, you are where we were 10 years ago."
Wow.
So that was a snub to the Russians and their spy satellites.
Yeah.
So, and that was their plant in Texas. So here's an affiliate that's in LA in
Right.
the industrial complex. And I'm going through the briefing and everything. And I sent you this thing that was from Gordon Parks and what he told me.
Mm-hmm. Let's
He
see.
told me this in high school, that my brain wasn't wired like the rest of us.
Right.
So I'm going through the briefing and I look over to General Phillips and I went, okay, so what am I really here for? And he goes, oh, we're moving on to that. Okay, but really, what am I here for? And he goes, I need somebody on this job that don't think like the rest of us.
Right.
And I snapped my head to look at him and he goes like this.
Gotta be quiet.
Yeah, because it's like, okay, you had to have talked to Gordon Parks because he was the only person that ever
Yeah.
said that to me. I need somebody that don't think like the rest of us. So we get into this one room.
Mm-hmm.
The walls to this room were 6 feet thick
Wow.
with a blast door.
Mm-hmm.
And inside this room was this gigantic tank. It was the size of a semi-trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Length, breadth, everything. And it had a portal on one end of it. And I walk into the room and I'm looking around and General Phillips said, I need you to do your thing. You need to take some pictures for me here.
Yeah.
And I went, okay. So I'm walking around and I'm looking this thing over. And these guys that were briefing everybody, they're getting on Phillips like, what is he doing here? Okay, what is he here for? And he goes, just leave him alone. You'll find out.
Uh-huh.
I didn't even know until finally I walked over to the tank,
Uh-huh.
got up on this ladder, and I looked in that portal,
Right.
and I went, tell me something. Has anybody here seen what's inside there? And they go, are you crazy? That's 1 million gallons of 30 weight oil. Nobody can see anything in there.
Huh.
Want to make a bet?
Uh-huh.
So I just went, General Phillips, can you give me a half hour? I need some packing cardboard, some duct tape, and I'm going to show them what's in here.
You're gonna MacGyver the thing.
Yeah, so I made this adapter for my camera so that it was flush up against the glass,
Mm-hmm.
cranked down, loaded the thing with 50 ASA Kodachrome, opened the shutter, and I told him, okay, when you're ready to set this thing off, let's see what happens. So they all left the room.
Uh-huh.
We closed the blast door, and when that thing went off, it was like somebody fired 5 howitzers at the same time.
Wow.
The
So
whole
it
the whole
exploded.
thing shook. But it was electronic.
Oh.
It was electronic. There was unbelievable power
Yeah.
going into this thing and what was coming out
Yeah.
that was going into a target room. I didn't see the target room till 3 months later. But here's the thing.
Uh-huh.
After that shot, oh, I forgot to tell you.
Yeah.
The one thing about the jobs that Phillips put me on, was that I was never going to see the images, but you have a 97% shooting rate. So we're not going to worry about the quality.
Yeah.
So
That's nice.
signed an NDA,
Yeah.
left. They brought me back the next month.
Uh-huh.
I walked into the room. The tank was half its size.
So what was the purpose of this tank? What were they going to do with it?
They called it a flash X-ray machine.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, so I went, okay, I understand flash X-rays. You were talking about things bordering on cosmic energy, but you're creating it here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this time when I showed up, they made me an adapter.
Uh-huh.
I mean, a fully machined, ready for my camera to lock into it, and they made me shoot it again.
Huh.
I come back the next month, and this thing is half the size again.
So it's getting smaller. Why is it getting smaller?
Because I was showing them what those capacitor banks look like when they were fully charged and they discharged. You can't hide energy.
Right.
And I was taking pictures of the energy.
Mm-hmm.
I knew I was going to get an image.
Mm-hmm.
There was no ifs, ands, or maybes about it. Mainly because what was going on in my head was telling me, you got this. Mm-hmm. So after that, I didn't see anything again from TRW till 1984 when the airborne laser was getting ready to be tested. And it was a modified C-141 Starlifter, and they were rolling all of this equipment in, all of these power lines, and then coming up behind it was something the size of a minivan that had the port on it, and I knew what it was.
Yeah, it was that tank.
And it was the capacitor bank to fire the airborne laser. So, long story short, last year they tried this bullshit on the TV about in the boneyard was a 747 that was the platform for the airborne laser, and they fired it once and they knew that it was too dangerous, that it might have cut something in half hundreds of miles away and all that bullshit. And I'm going, they said they fired this thing in 2003. No. The airborne laser launched, fired, and tested in 1984. 84.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. Okay, so you were working special projects. When did you end up at Area 51?
I wound up in Area 51 in 1979.
Okay.
Yeah. It was 1979 in the fall. And it was General Phillips again. And he pulled me into a project that was called EWCAS, Electronic Warfare During Close Air Support. And for close to a month, C5 Galaxies were landing and unloading this equipment that was the likes of which nobody in the West had seen except maybe the military and spooks. It was Russian equipment. It was their electronic warfare equipment. And nobody asked, where and how did you get it? And I went, okay, think back the Yom Kippur War when Israel kicked their ass. We got tanks, APCs, trucks, electronic warfare equipment, rockets, planes.
Lots of Russian stuff.
Because remember, they surrounded and cut off
a
whole mobility unit. So that meant a whole battlefield mobility unit that was full up. And that's where all this shit came from.
Okay, my
And
audience
what we were,
is gonna demand, what all did you see at Area 51, and have you actually witnessed aliens? Or were
okay,
there any there?
that was Area 2.
Okay.
I was given access for everything in Area 51 except for Area 2 and Area 4.
Uh-huh.
But I got close enough to those that I sent you some pictures.
You did. I'm looking at a couple of them here. One looks like a
Okay,
blue plasma, and one looks like a black and white energy thing. Tell me what these
yeah,
are.
okay. This is what I witnessed because I had to do things at night
Mhm.
for General Phillips. So where Area 2 was,
Is that
if you're
is that
stand,
S2, which we
yes,
hear about, and there's
yes,
S4? Okay, so it's Area 2.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
S4, they have to get on another aircraft when you fly up uh, from Vegas
Right.
on Janice Airlines.
Mm-hmm.
They would transfer to another aircraft to fly out to Area 4.
Mm-hmm.
And it was near Utah.
Okay.
So in between Area 2 and Area 4 one night,
Mm-hmm.
I literally saw the sky ripple open with this white. Now, please understand what I shot there,
Mm-hmm.
I never brought back. I recreated,
Mm-hmm.
okay, because I was a techie in the unit. I recreated what I saw. And this was at about 3 in the morning. I
Mm-hmm.
saw the sky ripple open like that. And I would say this thing was about maybe 25,000 feet. And the rip was about 10 miles long.
Wow.
And
Was
it
this
just
like
opened
a
up.
portal or something that you saw open?
It was like somebody took a jagged knife
Uh-huh.
and went through the air with it. And then the air opened up.
Wow. That's amazing.
And that thing hung there for the longest time. It was almost like I was I can't say completely missing time,
Mm-hmm.
but it I didn't even I felt like I was a statue
Yeah.
while I was looking at this thing.
Okay.
I got a couple of shots off and I couldn't anymore because I was it was like I was pinned down.
Mm-hmm.
And then that was it.
Did you ever see any of the same things that Bob Lazar saw anywhere in that area?
I remember seeing Bob Lazar as a young guy,
Uh-huh.
skinny as a rail, with black glasses on.
Uh-huh.
You you have to understand when you loaded onto the plane in Vegas,
Right.
the people with the lowest security clearances got on first. You
Uh-huh.
were in the back of the plane. Curtain came down, loaded again, curtain again, as the clearances got higher and higher.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're not supposed to see who they are, right? But
Right.
hate to tell you this, people, I spent overnight there.
Uh-huh.
So I'm waiting to get on the plane to go back when I see everybody getting off.
Right.
And in the second cadre, so the highest security clearance was the very first.
Mm-hmm.
He was on the second.
Mm-hmm.
And I would see him and these guys getting off the plane. And I didn't know who that was until all of these years later when he showed up and I went, damn it, I know you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he worked there
Wow.
and he was at a very high level.
Well, you just
Very.
verified a lot of his story right there by somebody that was actually at the area or the S4 area, or was at
Yeah,
least on the Janet flights flying in. That's
yeah.
amazing. So you're on this special projects thing, you're taking pictures of stuff. What else did you get to see while you were there?
Okay. The the other one, that black and white that you see.
Yeah, looks like
You,
plasma.
yeah, the the experiment that they call Jacob's ladder, where
Mm-hmm.
you've got two electrodes up in the air, you hit it with power, and you see the electricity walking its way up.
Right.
Imagine seeing that, and there's no electrodes in the air.
Ah.
That's what I caught, and that was right in between the I can't name the industries that were there, but we have civilian contractors in
Mm-hmm.
various areas there, directly in between them and the entrance to Area 2, the
Wow.
entrance to the mountain going into Area 2.
Mm-hmm.
That thing came up. That was in the spring of 80 at 3:30 in the morning.
Wow.
And it literally was black and white.
Huh. Well, it
Color
reminds me
color
of
was gone.
something Tesla worked on. He had a lot of he invented the Tesla coil. And so this
Yep.
is kind of reminiscent of that. Were they using any of Tesla's ideas that you know of?
Unfortunately, and this is what General Phillips said,
Mm-hmm.
there are things you're going to see that is going to be a galaxy above your pay grade,
Right.
but I need you to shoot it.
Uh-huh.
No hesitation.
Right. Wow.
And here's the thing, that the night that happened, please understand, even in the dead of night, there's some color.
Uh-huh.
When this thing went off, it was like everything shifted to black and white.
Wow.
That's why it's black and white.
Mm-hmm.
And you could, how you can feel what something should sound like,
Yeah.
but there was no sound.
Yeah.
It made your bones itch. Okay, you got,
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah, I
you're
kind of know
scratching
what you're
your
talking
skin
about.
trying to get to an itch that is so damn deep.
Uh-huh.
And I'm 30 miles away.
Wow.
I'm on the other ridge across from there. And
So
this
they
thing
have a
just,
device of some kind that they're able to create these vortexes with it. Did you see the device that created it? No.
I couldn't, that was a part of the range I couldn't go to.
Mm-hmm.
And, I know this may be disappointing a lot of people, but there were things going on there, and it always happened at night,
Mm-hmm.
that would make your hair stand on end.
Wow.
I think I sent you another black and white that I recreated, that if anybody is listening and they understand what two dimensionals are about, two-dimensional beings,
Okay.
they have height and width, but
Mm-hmm.
no depth.
Huh.
If they're facing you like this, you can see them.
Yeah.
They turn,
And
and you can't see them anymore.
No.
Okay?
I mean, yeah.
Out of the corner of my eye, now remember, I had access to Area 51, Indian Springs, Mercury, Nevada,
Uh-huh.
the huge test sites.
Yeah.
And right at the beginning of, you take a road to the right, you're in Indian Springs, take a road to the left, you're in Mercury, Nevada. I'm over there at midnight,
Uh-huh.
and I heard something off on my right, and it was like a shh, like that.
Yeah.
And it was like a door slid open.
Wow.
And out of the corner of my eye and my peripheral vision, I saw this hulking black thing surrounded by pulsing and it was light that was like twinkling
Yeah.
and pulsing,
Yeah.
and this solid black thing is standing there, and doing this out of the corner of my eye.
Uh-huh.
And as I turned like this, all of a sudden it went
Just closed
and
up.
was gone.
Yeah.
But when it did, there was a disturbance in the air that was like looking at like dandelion seeds
Mm-hmm.
settling out of the air,
Yeah.
and it was gone.
Yeah. Amazing. So, a lot of people, they have questions about, aliens and all, and there are people who believe that they're demons. Do you think that this is something demonic?
Uh, that's the Chrislamics. Sorry, I will not call them Christians.
Uh-huh.
You've got three factions vying to take over the world,
Right.
and they're all the I call them the three redheaded stepsisters. Okay, you've got Judaism, Islam, and Christianity.
Right.
They're okay. One of the physicists that I was assigned to, he was doing a briefing, and when we had a stand down, okay, where they were going to recalibrate everything, move everything out, bring in new stuff, get it reset up. He goes, while we're off for the weekend, I'm going to give you guys a project. What would happen if you woke up tomorrow and there was no ifs, ands, maybes, or buts about it, that we're here and has nothing to do with God? What will the world do?
Right.
Plain and simple.
Yeah. Most
Okay,
would panic.
long story short, we had this temp guy that was there, and he was an 8-up Christian. He had a briefcase with all of these notepads. He had this big Bible that he was constantly leafing through on his lunch break. He had a miniature Bible in his lab coat pocket. And he stands up and he goes, if they do not believe in our Lord, our God, Jesus Christ, because I'm going to ask them that, I will pull out a gun and shoot them.
Oh, goodness.
This is the kind of bullshit
Yeah.
that is inundating our military and our government.
Yeah.
Okay? And, I said to him, stop and think a second. If the dinosaurs were wiped out by an asteroid that was the size of Mount Everest that hit in the Yucatan, okay, and it blanketed the Earth, you're talking about beings that have traveled trillions of miles, light years, to get here. With that technology, they don't have to use any weapons. All they got to do is to go to the asteroid belt, get something 4 times the size of that one, send it here at close to light speed, and glass us, and go on about their business.
Exactly. It's
They
kind of
wouldn't
a
have
good luck
a
with
care. They wouldn't have a damn care in the world.
that. Right.
But we are inundated with these people that are mixing science in with demons and all of this fear and crap. Look, understand something. Christianity is a living to die cult. Okay, that's all they talk about is the end times. The end times. That's all they want. They're living to die.
Yeah, they're waiting for it.
So please go someplace so there's no collateral and get it over with. And stop manufacturing wars and things to get us to the edge all the time. There's more out there than this. We have got this great big beautiful spaceship we're living on, this gigantic mud ball, and we think that we're the center of the universe. We're not even the size of a pinprick in a piece of fabric compared to the universe.
Right.
Okay? The shot that they took with the Hubble out into, quote, dead
Yeah.
space,
Yeah.
and they wound up with 1 billion galaxies.
Mm-hmm.
They are still counting.
Yeah.
They're up to 1 trillion.
We are a
And that is
grain of
only,
sand
yeah,
on a sandy beach.
yeah. And,
Yeah.
and we're not even that size
Yeah.
compared to, this is a 10-inch recon photo.
Uh-huh.
The standard size is 10 inches
Uh-huh.
in one spot of the universe.
And there are billions of galaxies in there.
Trillions
Trillions.
just
Yeah.
there. Now,
Mm-hmm.
what about the rest of the sky?
Yeah.
And how long have we been here? And look, one thing that I can tell you just from what I sensed from all of my contacts
Mm-hmm.
as I've gotten older is we need to change the calibration of how old we think Earth is.
Mm-hmm.
I think we are the sixth civilization that's been here.
Yeah. I actually believe
Okay,
that. I think there's been at least 5 before us, and we're sitting on the end.
look, please take it to the bank because I can neither affirm nor deny.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but the stuff that I've seen
Mm-hmm.
is already telling me we're number 6.
Yeah.
We 5, no, I think we're number 6 because there are too many structures that we found around the world.
Right.
There has been too many incidences in our prehistory.
Yeah.
Do you know that in the area of India, Bangladesh, Pakistan,
Right.
they found decaying on the nuclear scale
Mm-hmm.
that there had been a nuclear war
Uh,
way in the past, that now the background radiation
yeah.
is like what had happened maybe 50 million years
Wow.
back.
Yeah.
And we're picking up this background radiation. And the Bodhisattva talks about
Yeah.
the people walking out of the sky that were fighting
Yeah.
in the sky.
Yeah.
There's been over Munich, Germany, in the 1100s.
Yeah.
There was a sky battle.
Yeah. People saw it, and they did little wood carvings of it.
Yeah, and we want to know what's really going on out
Exactly.
there. Our hubris will not let us admit that we were handed information.
Right.
Okay, we have been our genetic pool has been manipulated,
Mm-hmm.
because if you look at what happened from Lucy to the Neanderthals,
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden we made this jump from the Neanderthal through 2 levels of Cro-Mag and then us in
Right.
too short of a time.
Exactly.
Way too short.
Mm-hmm.
And
And that's just
we,
us. That's not the civilizations before us.
yeah. And how some of these civilizations just walked away.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, wake up.
Exactly.
Okay. And all right, I owe you something on a crash recovery, because this was in 1979, right when I was just on a break from Area 51, that I
Okay.
got woke up. I was woke up at 2:30 in the morning that I had to go on a crash recovery.
Okay. We've got just
Now,
a few minutes, so
okay,
let's
I
get
was at
into that.
I was at Norton Air Force Base. I got woke up
Uh-huh.
2:30 in the morning. Pack your bags. You've got to go to a crash recovery. a B-1 bomber went down, and it's outside of Edwards Air Force Base. So went to the base. Before I got there, they put me on a California Highway Patrol chopper, and off we went because they didn't have a chopper for the Air Force right then. So because I was an augmentee with their TAC team, they put me on one of their choppers. We flew up Cajon Pass to Edwards Air Force Base, got off the chopper, and they made the pilots of the chopper sign an NDA.
Wow.
And so I'm there to get briefed of what the heck's going on. You said that a bomber went down.
Yeah.
And while I was waiting to get clearance to go into the site, one of the radar operators from George Air Force Base across the road was there, and he's going, can anybody tell me what the heck is going on here? Because we picked up an object near the test range, and in under 2.5 minutes, it was here.
Wow.
That is 287 miles crossed in 2.5 minutes. That means this thing was in excess of 10,000 miles per hour.
Yeah.
And it crashed.
And no sonic boom.
No sonic boom, no nothing. But it left a scar in the desert 150 yards wide.
Wow.
And 1.5 miles long. And there was one piece of metal that they said was an escape pod. And when I was walking over to it, the blood didn't look right.
Yeah.
And the odor was making me sick. I mean, nauseated.
Right.
I've seen more dead bodies in my life than I want to account for. And this wasn't right. And finally, I got to the point of, all right, before we do anything further, I need to take a picture of the debris field.
Right.
You need to go to Edwards, get me this film. It was a special infrared film. And I need to get back up on the chopper, and I'm going to take a picture of this whole area so that if there's anything of a heat signature or anything else, it's going to pick it up. It's also going to give you gradations in the soil so that you can tell if things are buried or whatever. And got up in the chopper, took the pictures, handed them the film, signed the NDA, and they flew me back to Norton.
So the smell, you definitely think that it was non-human, right?
Yes.
Wow. Yeah. Well, that makes sense.
Anybody that has smelled human blood or any other form of animal blood down here knows what that's like.
Exactly.
I've been on, mass casualty recoveries. I know what a human body, smells like.
Yeah.
And this was not right, and there was a shimmer to it where it just looking at it, I can tell that it went from the regular red that you saw of human blood to something else.
Yeah.
Because it looked like it was shifting.
These infrared photos that you took, did you get to see them?
No.
But they developed them, right? They looked at it.
They developed them over at Edwards.
Yeah.
And what I found out from the guys at Edwards was that they brought in heavy earth-moving equipment, the size of stuff they said they'd never seen before. And they went like a couple of feet down and just removed everything. Wow. And they had dump trucks lined up getting filled as they went along until everything was gone. They said it took like a week. Yeah. But it had pushed a berm up. The berm was about 9 feet high at the end of the crash site.
Where it can't
So
go
this
stop
thing
it.
literally flew
Uh-huh.
into the ground,
Right.
along the ground,
Yeah.
until there was nothing left. But for something to push something like that ahead of it
Right.
and leave no debris,
Uh-huh.
that means there was something like a field
Mm-hmm.
that was pushing this along.
Yeah. Yeah. Not just the object itself. Robert, this has been fascinating. I am loving this show. In fact, I definitely want to get you back so we can pick up from here and go forward. But I want you to stay on the line, and I'm going to close out the show, and we're going to do a little promo. But thank you so much for being my guest. This has been an amazing, amazing show this time.
It was fun, but like I said, I've reached the point, maybe in another segment I can tell you about the NDAs and all the shit that went, along with it when I retired.
Right.
But I just need to talk. I'm not taking all of this to the grave.
Yeah. Okay. Robert Standing Eagle Marshall is my guest. That's who we're talking to, and we will see you next time on the show.
Goodbye.